On the 4th of July, I watched the movie Southland Tales, which takes place in the USA and mostly happens on the 4th of July.
No way, dude.
I've always been intrigued by this movie, but not just because it's the director of Donnie Darko, which is a movie that I love, and not just because it's that director Richard Kelly's only other movie, other than like one no one's ever heard of, apparently. What's interested me most about this is the absurd range of opinions that people have on it. While opinions on films are pretty varied due to people having subjective opinions and experiences with art, generally there'll be a popular consensus on if a movie is good or bad. But not so with this one. Everywhere I can find, people's ratings seem to be all over the place. Many people say it's an absolute masterpiece, and many people say it's absolute trash. And there's plenty of everything in between. And now that I've finally sat down and watched this movie, yeah, I get it. This is one of those rare films where literally every opinion on it is completely justified. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it a bit of both? Does this movie even exist, or is it just a weird dream I had? The best I can do to try and explain what this is and compare it to other movies is this. Spring Breakers is a movie marketed as like a sexy party movie with bikinis and drugs, but it's actually made by one of the strangest people to ever touch a camera. So basically it tricked a bunch of people into watching a surreal, artsy movie that barely resembles traditional storytelling. So take that concept, only with this, the weird movie looks like a generic Dwayne Johnson action movie, right? On top of that, add yourself some heavy political and societal commentary, an impending fear of the end of the world, and dialogue and acting that is so dry and stilted, yet at the same time very weird and bizarre. Watching this movie late at night felt like a fever dream. There were times when I was thinking that this was an underrated masterpiece, and there were other times where I was like, this kind of sucks. But most of the time, I was just watching and absorbing, baffled and mystified by whatever was unfolding before my eyes. For those who haven't seen it, and for the sake of myself trying to process this movie in my own head, let me try and tell you not exactly what happens in the movie plot-wise, but just the stuff that's in it. By the way, I'll try not to spoil anything in this movie, but if you don't want to miss out on going in blind to this absolute insanity, then I would recommend pausing this video and watching that movie first. So, it's 2008, which at the time that this was made is like the near future. The world is in chaos after nuclear warfare happened in the US, and the Republican political party is like mostly in control of everything, and they're being rebelled against by like Karl Marx fanatics. Dwayne Johnson is an actor who has strong ties to the Republican Party and went missing, which everyone is very upset about. I don't know exactly what these ties are, like they're not explained, and I don't know why every politician in the movie is like super concerned about him going missing. But yeah, I think he had amnesia or something, so I guess he forgot he had a wife and started going out with this porn star, and they wrote a screenplay for a movie together that Dwayne Johnson would both direct and star in. As the film goes along, we learn that everything Dwayne Johnson wrote is coming true, and he is actually the character in the book that he wrote, or something like that. Meanwhile, this other guy that's working with the Marxist group is impersonating his twin brother, who is a racist cop. He's gonna pretend to kill these people in the group to like expose his brother's crimes, or maybe just police violence in general, and Leslie Knope is there. Meanwhile, Wallace Shawn is a scientist guy with drag makeup who leads a cult or something, and he's making a spaceship that can last forever like the one in WALL-E, and he's super obsessed with the ocean. Meanwhile, Justin Timberlake is a scarred war veteran who is like seeing all of this and narrating for us, and at one point he does like a musical number where he lip syncs along to a Killers song in like some kind of dream or something. If you couldn't tell, I wasn't entirely sure what was going on in this movie. Around the second half, I completely lost track of what was happening and was just kind of watching. I think it had something to do with time travel? Global warming? There was a very Lynchian dance number that was kind of cool. The cop guy and his twin brother had glowy hands. And that's part of the reason why I feel like I can't decide on a definitive opinion on this movie. It doesn't make any sense. And unlike a David Lynch movie like Eraserhead, where the point is obviously to be abstract, I don't know if this movie is trying to not make sense or trying to make sense and failing, or if it's just my fault for not paying attention enough. It feels abstract and all about the vibes and the feel like Eraserhead, but at the same time, it feels clumsy and overstuffed like 2017 Justice League. I keep going back and forth on whether that's intentional or not, and if it is intentional, whether I like that decision. And I can say the same about the acting. It's incredibly bizarre. The acting is so deadpan at times where it feels like funny or energetic things should be happening, in a way very similar to M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, which for the record is a terrible movie. But is that, like, intentional to make fun of or criticize movies that The Rock would typically be in? Did the director purposely let Dwayne Johnson do a bad job? Or did he, like, tell him to do a specific way that would be bad? Or what, did he just not care and just let him read lines and say, yep, that's good? I don't know. All I know is that Dwayne Johnson's presence is so confusing in this. They're sometimes funny and sometimes trying to be epic and cringy, or at least that's how it felt. I don't even know. And he keeps doing this weird thing with his fingers when he's like nervous or something. Like, does this Dwayne Johnson character, like, have autism or something? Is that why he, like, talks so strange? And the script, oh man, the script. In this area, at least, I really think parts of the script are definitely supposed to be funny, especially considering the fact that Richard Kelly listed Doctor Strangelove as one of the film's major influences. There's definitely jokes, just maybe not jokes in any traditional normal sense of the word. There's a bit where a woman was watching surveillance footage of, like, men's restrooms while stuffing food in her mouth, and these guys were like, why is she watching that surveillance footage so much? That was pretty funny, I think. But there were also a lot of other parts that were just, wait, am I supposed to laugh? Like, what is happening? I can't tell how much of this is supposed to be taken seriously and how much of it is supposed to be a joke. Is the whole thing a joke? Or is some of it jokes and most of it serious? I think I would lean toward the second one, but again, I really am not sure. And the social commentary, well, it's definitely there. It's definitely a criticism of America and Republicans and fascism and capitalism and all that jazz. I'm not sure entirely what it's trying to say specifically. Like, it seems to be a whole lot of things. And it's kind of eerie how much of the movie's predictions turned out to be accurate. Like, there's more fake news and hysteria than ever. And I think that it's interesting that part of this movie is about how someone's writing turned out to be true, and that's part of the plot. And this movie's predictions turned out to be true. Kind of life imitates art, art imitates life. Man, this might actually be really brilliant. I guess if I had to sum up the point I'm trying to make with this video, it's that I don't have a point, like, at all. I'm just confused about this movie in a good way. This film is so fascinating that I decided to make a video out of it, and I would love to watch it again. And hey, apparently the first half of the story is detailed in a 3-part comic book that Richard Kelly wrote. What? So maybe if I read that, then I can make more sense of it. But for now, I just have no idea what is going on with this movie. And to be honest, maybe that's the point. Maybe the whole point is just to confuse people. Final thoughts? This is a movie. Good or bad, I really don't know. But sometimes that's okay. Art is just art. A film is just a film. Southland Tales is just Southland Tales, man. If you've seen Southland Tales, let me know your thoughts on it. I would love to hear what others have to say and discuss with people. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I feel like it's kind of an essential for all film lovers just because of how whack it is. Whether it seems up your alley or not, I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's free on Tubi, so you got no excuse. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching.